What if the glittering spectacle of a Katy Perry concert suddenly transformed into a battleground of raw emotion and explosive conflict? Imagine thousands of fans, their hearts pounding in unison with the beat, when, out of nowhere, a violent argument erupts backstage, and it's broadcast live. Can you picture the shock, the chaos, and the stunned silence as one of pop's brightest stars faces off with her crew in a confrontation that leaves the audience questioning everything they thought they knew about show business? It was a balmy summer evening in Los Angeles, and the air around the state-of-the-art arena was electric with anticipation. Fans, dressed in vibrant colors and glittering accessories, had flocked to see Katy Perry perform live. The venue itself was a modern marvel, with colossal LED screens, soaring pyrotechnics, and an acoustically perfect sound system that promised a night of unforgettable music and spectacle. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the city's skyline shimmered in the background, a fitting stage for an icon like Katy Perry. Inside the arena, the atmosphere was a mix of exhilaration and meticulous preparation. Backstage, the corridors buzzed with activity. Hair and makeup artists flitted from one area to another, technicians fine-tuned the elaborate stage setup, and the crew, a tight-knit group of professionals, worked with practiced efficiency to ensure every prop, costume, and light was in its proper place. For months, they had rehearsed countless times to make sure every note and every move was flawless. Yet behind the scenes, beneath the veneer of precision and harmony, tensions had been simmering. Katy Perry, known not only for her chart-topping hits, but also for her larger-than-life personality, had always been a demanding perfectionist. Her artistic vision was as bold as it was dynamic, and she expected nothing less than excellence from every member of her team. In the days leading up to the concert, minor disagreements and stressful deadlines had piled up, creating an undercurrent of frustration among the backstage crew. Whispers of creative differences and clashing personalities circulated in the dimly lit corridors, though no one had predicted that these tensions would boil over in front of a live audience. As the show was about to begin, Katy spent a few moments alone in her dressing room. There, she reviewed last-minute notes on her set list and adjusted the final details of her costume, a shimmering outfit designed to evoke both strength and vulnerability. Unbeknownst to her, a simmering dispute was about to erupt, one that would not only shake the very foundation of the concert, but also be immortalized on live television. The concert kicked off with an explosion of color, sound, and movement. The opening number had the audience dancing in a frenzy, as Katy commanded the stage with her signature energy and charisma. The production was a visual feast. Dazzling light displays, intricate choreography, and elaborate stage props created an atmosphere that was both surreal and breathtaking. For the first hour, everything went off without a hitch, and the fans' adoration for their idol seemed boundless. Then, during a brief interlude between songs, as the stage's lights dimmed and the audience settled into a momentary lull, the backstage area erupted into chaos. It began innocuously, a hushed conversation in a corner, then raised voices near the prop tables. Within moments, a confrontation that had been brewing for days came to a head. Sources later revealed that a critical miscommunication about a last-minute change in the set had ignited a fury among the crew. A lead stage manager, visibly agitated, began to confront several crew members about what he considered a blatant disregard for protocol. Accusations were hurled, voices escalated, and tempers flared. Katy, ever the perfectionist, had been monitoring the situation from her private area. Initially, she tried to ignore the commotion, believing it to be a minor disagreement that would resolve itself before the next act. However, as the argument grew louder and more volatile, she was forced to step out. With a determined expression and a sense of urgency, she strode toward the source of the disturbance. What happened next would shock everyone: fans in the arena, crew members caught in the crossfire, and, most significantly, viewers watching the live broadcast. As Katy reached the backstage wing, a heated exchange unfolded before her eyes. Voices were raised to an ear-shout, and in a moment of intense frustration, Katy's own temper flared. The pop star, known for her poised public persona, engaged directly with the crew, her words slicing through the cacophony like a razor. "I don't care how busy you are," Katy yelled, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and hurt. "We've worked too hard for this moment to let petty mistakes ruin it. I expect respect, professionalism, and commitment. Everything else is unacceptable." Her outburst was raw, unfiltered, and entirely unexpected. The room fell into a stunned silence for a heartbeat before erupting into chaotic energy. Crew members, caught between their loyalty to their craft and their shock at Katy's tirade, began to argue back. One technician, whose hands were still trembling from shock, retorted, "You think you're the only one here? We all give our heart and soul to make this show a success." The confrontation escalated rapidly. In the tight confines of the backstage area, emotions reached a boiling point. Shoving matches, shouted insults, and the clatter of equipment punctuated the air. The chaos was so intense that it spilled over, and soon, fragments of the backstage argument were inadvertently captured by roaming cameras meant to document the show. Before anyone could react, the live broadcast cut to these raw, unedited snippets, and the concert's tone shifted dramatically. On the main stage, the screens that usually displayed mesmerizing visuals now flickered with live footage of the backstage brawl. The audience, initially unaware of the unfolding drama, began to murmur in confusion. Some fans looked on in disbelief, their faces a mix of shock and concern, while others erupted into anxious chatter. Social media exploded in real time. Tweets and posts poured in, some calling for calm, others expressing outrage. The carefully constructed illusion of a perfect performance had shattered, revealing the turbulent reality behind the scenes. Katy, caught in the midst of this storm, attempted to regain control. With the poise of a seasoned performer, she addressed both her crew and the bewildered audience. "I'm sorry for what you've seen tonight," she said, her voice softer now, but still carrying an edge of command. "We are a family, and sometimes families argue. But I promise you, we will make it right. Please trust that we will finish the show with the love and passion that you deserve." Her words, though heartfelt, did little to ease the immediate tension. The broadcast continued, and the entire incident became a viral spectacle. In the ensuing minutes, the backstage chaos was tempered by hurried interventions from senior managers and security personnel. Phones were being turned off, and crew members were ushered away from the public eye. Yet, the damage had already been done. The raw footage had captured every moment of the explosive argument, and the image of a beloved superstar in a moment of uncharacteristic vulnerability and anger spread like wildfire online. Fans, critics, and fellow artists alike were divided. Some sympathized with the immense pressure of live performance, while others condemned the violent outburst as unprofessional and unbecoming of a global icon. The rest of the concert, intended to be a dazzling musical journey, took on an altered tone. The set list was hastily modified, and the show was punctuated by long pauses and moments of awkward silence. Despite Katy's best efforts to steer the performance back on course, the lingering chaos backstage cast a shadow over the evening. The music, though still energetic and mesmerizing, was now accompanied by an undercurrent of tension that resonated with everyone present. As the final notes of the encore faded away, the arena was left in a reflective silence. The once euphoric crowd was now buzzing with hushed conversations, debates, and a palpable sense of disillusionment. In the days that followed, media outlets around the world dissected every frame of the live broadcast. Analysts questioned what had led to such a breakdown in backstage discipline, and public opinion was sharply divided. Some argued that the incident was a necessary catharsis, a reminder that even stars are human and subject to intense pressure, while others believed it was a disastrous lapse in leadership and professionalism. Katy Perry, in the aftermath, issued a public statement. "Last night was a challenging moment for all of us," she wrote, "and I deeply regret that our internal conflicts were shared with you in such a public manner. I value every member of my team, and I promise we will work together to learn and grow from this experience. Our love for music and for you, our fans, will always guide us." The statement was met with mixed reactions. While many appreciated her honesty and resolve, critics remained skeptical about the culture behind the scenes. In the weeks that followed, interviews with members of the crew emerged, offering conflicting accounts of what had transpired. Some claimed that the backstage environment had been under tremendous stress for weeks due to tight deadlines and creative differences, while others painted a picture of a single, explosive moment where emotions got the better of everyone. Regardless of the specifics, one thing was clear: the incident had sparked a widespread conversation about the pressures of live performance, the mental health of artists and crew alike, and the often overlooked reality behind the glamour of show business. The social media storm continued unabated. Hashtags like #KatyConcertChaos, #BackstageBattle, and #KatyUnfiltered trended globally, and the incident was featured on late-night talk shows, news segments, and even academic discussions on celebrity culture. In online forums, debates raged over whether the confrontation was a sign of deeper systemic issues within the entertainment industry, a toxic environment that pushed even the most polished professionals to their breaking point. Amid the controversy, Katy Perry took time to reflect on the incident. In a candid interview with a renowned magazine, she admitted, "I let my passion and frustration get the best of me. I've always believed in pushing boundaries, but sometimes the pressure becomes too overwhelming. I'm committed to doing better and to fostering a more supportive environment for everyone involved in my shows." Her heartfelt admission resonated with many, and while it did little to erase the memory of that chaotic night, it did serve as a catalyst for much-needed conversations about artist welfare and crew management. In a surprising turn, some industry insiders began to call for reforms in how live events are managed. Proposals emerged for better stress management practices, more comprehensive support systems for both artists and crew members, and even changes in scheduling to allow for adequate rest between shows. The incident, though painful and embarrassing for those involved, ignited a movement that could potentially reshape backstage culture across the entertainment world. Over time, the chaos of that fateful night became a part of pop culture lore, a reminder that behind every dazzling performance lies a world of relentless effort, passion, and, sometimes, human frailty. For Katy Perry, the episode was a turning point. It forced her to re-examine her approach to performance and to invest more deeply in the well-being of her team. Subsequent tours would feature more collaborative rehearsals, wellness initiatives, and a renewed emphasis on communication and mutual respect. As the dust settled and the spotlight shifted from the backstage brawl to the broader conversation about industry practices, one undeniable truth remained: that night, in front of millions of eyes both in the arena and around the world, the veneer of perfection was irrevocably shattered. The live broadcast of that violent argument served as a stark reminder that even the most successful stars are human, vulnerable to the pressures of their craft, susceptible to moments of anger, and capable of mistakes that echo far beyond the stage. In the end, the memory of the concert chaos was not solely defined by conflict. It was also defined by the resilience of an artist who, despite the storm, managed to finish the show and connect with her fans in a way that was raw and honest. It was defined by a crew that, despite being thrown into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, continued to work tirelessly behind the scenes. And it was defined by an industry that, in the wake of the incident, began to grapple with the often unseen human cost of producing the spectacles we so eagerly consume. As fans continue to debate the merits and missteps of that tumultuous evening, one thing is certain: the image of a once united team torn apart in the heat of passion will remain etched in the annals of pop history. And for those who witnessed it live or through their screens, it served as a powerful reminder that in the world of entertainment, The line between glamour and chaos is often as thin as a heartbeat, and just as unpredictable.